I heard the laughter when the book titled They Shoot Managers came up. That was my first book. I was at Denny's going over galley proofs. It was the first time I'd had a chance to look at the final copy. And I was at Denny's because my wife is a dietitian. And this is why I travel. So I am, no, that's not true. I work out and I do all those things to make up for what I eat at Denny's. No, and I was going through the galley proofs and the waitress came up and she said, what are you doing? And I said, that's my first book and I'm looking over the final galley proof before we publish it. And she said, wow, that's got to be exciting. I said, it is. She said, what's the title? I said, well, I'll try it out on you. They shoot managers, don't they? And she looked at me and she said, I like it. Not more than 10 minutes later, in front of all of the patrons, her boss came out and started yelling at her for something she'd done in the back. And everybody just looked away. It was an uncomfortable moment. We were all kind of looking at our food. And as soon as he left, she immediately came over to my table and she picked up my book and she said, is it a how-to book? And I said, not that kind, you know. One of the things, and I want to be honest about it because I think it's one of the challenges you face. How many agree change brings with it a certain amount of conflict and frustration because not all changes are appreciated? At the same time, some changes are really applauded, but not necessarily throughout an organization. And you are the one that manages change and the conflict that goes with that. We talked earlier, how many of you have some people who really don't like any change whatsoever? They didn't come to Inova for change. They came for stability. A proven organization that had a tradition and a track record, and it's a place I could work until I died. They probably get a deal for that, just like the health care, exercise. And then you have other people who love change. How many of you can think of people, they just eat it for lunch? In fact, if there are no changes, they start rumors just to see if they can make it happen. You need both of those people. You need people who will try and hold on to the things that are really important and what has made Inova what it is. And at the same time, need to be open to anything that's going to make it better. And that means you're going to have a certain amount of conflict. Please get used to that. I embrace it because I figure sometimes I'm wrong. If somebody confronts me, I don't mind spending time talking about it because maybe I'll be better tomorrow. My great uncle on the farms of Illinois used to give me wisdom. One of his was, hey, if one person calls you a horse's ass, don't worry about it, but if 4 people do, go out and buy a saddle. I believe we ought to have a saddle award. What's wrong with this? We didn't have a... And we as leaders every once in a while ought to take it because occasionally we're wrong. Some of the things that have been a part of Inova will continue to be a part of Inova, but we can't have an automatic veto on the things that will allow us to position for the future. I have enjoyed being part of your team for this is the second day. The third day was being snowed in. I didn't enjoy that as much. But I will tell you this. Please understand how rare it is that organizations of this size get the amount of information you have received and been challenged to be involved and engaged and informed.